Hey, welcome everybody to podcast number 91. So not only is it podcast number 91, but it is St. Patrick's Day. And we have a great guest coming on. And it is also our Lucky Leprechaun's birthday. I love it.
He doesn't even look that much different, honestly.
No, pretty close, actually.
Smarter.
Good? How's St. Patrick's Day going so far?
so far, so good.
Good.
Where's your pot of gold?
Yeah. I got a tickle trunk of a whole bunch of decorations.
No. Too early for 5 Pin After Dark. Too early.
Go to a different place. Yeah.
So obviously I'm your host, Carrie Kreitz.
I'll bring it over.
Put him in the background.
Yeah.
We're going to start a little thing for our introductions. It's going to be a little nickname segment for us. As doing 91 podcasts, we have learned a little bit too much about each other and our ticks and quirks, or whatever you want to call them. So I'm Carrie, used to be good Kreitz. We have Tim, serial pooper Wiseman. Dexter, number one Wiseman. He got a good one this week, but we got a better one for next week. And Daryl, shit, he is old Bradley.
That's right. Somebody's got to be the senior of this group, so I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Right, you're welcome.
Scotty thinks your mask looks better.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
So obviously the old spiel, if you want to become a Patreon member, you can go to patreon.com/5pinuniverse. For as little as $2 a month, you can help support us do this every week. And we're going to throw up everybody's name on there that's a patron right at this moment. We usually throw up some stuff on there a little bit earlier too, if we do some trick shot videos and stuff like that. So everybody that's part of the patron, they'll get that first, maybe a week or two ahead of everybody else that goes on normal YouTube. I had something else here. I'm not sure now. See, that's why you should write everything down if you're a good host.
The shop. The drinking.
Oh, here we go. We got Tim came up with a drinking game and he posted on 5 Pin Universe here, the Facebook page. We're going to throw it up on screen here and we'll let Tim rattle them off for you. So this is for everybody watching in the chat while this is live.
Yeah, so it's for our viewers today, not for us. We have our own little thing going on with our agenda. So unfortunately, whenever I rattle this off, I guess it's a drink for you guys. So whenever the 5 Pin U mentions about the 5 Pin U store, so that would be a drink.
Yeah, buy merch.
So buy some merch, guys. Every time there's a love for our guest, Cathy, in our group chat. So we love you, Cathy. That would be a drink. Every time someone mentioned his DB's birthday or wishes him happy birthday in our chat, that's a drink. Whenever someone comments and encourages drinking, that's a drink. Every time Carrie looks at the comments and smiles, that's a drink. Every time I check my phone, that's a drink. Every time DB tries to change the topic, that will be a drink. Every time Dexter touches his beard, that will be a drink. Every time DB's computer dings, well, that would be a drink. If anyone mentions Mitch Davies, that would be a drink. Every time a podcast member says well, that would be a drink. And every time 5PU mentions they don't condone something, that would be a drink. So, so there would be a lot of drinking, and I see there's a couple of drinks already. So indulge, and we don't condone alcoholism on this podcast. So,
so that's another drink.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So as Tim mentioned, and this will be a drink for everybody, you can go to our store at store.5pinuniverse.ca, and there you can
sold a pair of sweatpants this week there, team. A couple pairs of sweatpants. Yeah,
nice.
Comfy. People, if you need a pair of sweatpants, consider Ball maybe, these sweatpants are dialed in. So
Mine came straight out of the dryer today onto my legs. Greatest feeling of life.
I know. Yeah. So warm.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
Just hugging everything.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So where's the next product? We got to work on that.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So
Was that a ding? That was a ding.
that was a ding, yeah. So our podcast sponsor of the week once again is All Star Bowling Sales. We'll run their commercial and we'll bring in our guest. All right. Our special guest for podcast number 91 is a lady that is in our chat constantly, watches a lot of our stuff, and has quite the extraordinary resume that we will be going through over the next hour. We can't thank her enough for coming on, but we got Mrs. Cathy Davidson.
Hey, Cathy.
Hey, guys. Daryl, happy birthday.
Yes. I love the commitment to St. Patrick's Day.
It's the love of the Irish, for sure.
There you go.
I'm making my mother proud.
There you go.
There's going to be lots of drinks in the chats. That's going to be interesting night for people out there. Enjoy.
I just took my first sip here. I haven't had rye in a long time. Figured I'd stick with an Irish whiskey. It's so good. I've missed rye.
I got a bottle of Bamboo today that we're going to open up here in a little bit. I just texted one of my daughters to bring me a beer. Oh, that Carrie's got the Bamboo too. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, you were saying.
Yeah, there's a little love in the chat for Cathy there. So remember the drinking game, everybody.
We'll play a little What's My Score today. Right, we're going to play What's My Score here around 8 o'clock. It's kind of the game plan. So get your notebooks ready out there, people. Maybe people in the comment section feel like they've got what it takes tonight.
Mm-hmm. And we got a little All-Star Bowling Sales giveaway for somebody in the comments. We'll do a random draw here. So if you want part of that draw, leave a comment in the chat and we'll add you to it. And we'll do a draw here at the end for you. All right. Well, DB, it's time to change topics. Take her away.
Yeah. Notice how I didn't change the topic.
Protecting my chat.
I know you're like, wait. Let's go, Cathy. So, Cathy, what's happening in your world these days? What do you do right now?
So, obviously, bowling is not happening, but professionally wise, I work for the York Region District School Board. So I was granted permission to work from home back in November. So I am working from home doing virtual school every day from like 9 till 3. And then I go to work my other private job from 3 till 6:30, 7 o'clock. So, yeah.
So the whole year has been spent teaching online virtual learning.
I'm not teaching. I'm an educational assistant, so I'm a support staff. So I work with students and individuals that have developmental and physical disabilities.
Right. Good.
So yeah. So I love my work. I love what I do, and it's very rewarding.
Now, is COVID in your you said the bowling centers aren't open in your region right now? So
maximum 10.
Okay.
So we're red. So I live in Simcoe County, but I work in York. So I travel between the two. So right now they're up to 10 per, kind of like what you guys were. And a lot of the bowling centers aren't even bothering because 10 doesn't cut it for their bills.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But we bounced back. So we went red, gray, red, gray, red. So it's not like it's tough for the proprietor to set something up that way.
Totally.
So
Right.
we're hoping orange soon in both regions, but unfortunately now we're dealing with a variant. So we're back in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, obviously with the pandemic, us as proprietors, it's been super frustrating, but I couldn't imagine, I saw some centers being open for 1 week and then being shut down again. And I would lose my mind. That's so bad for like staffing. It's so bad for like, supplying food and beverage and all that stuff. That's brutal. So I couldn't even imagine how frustrated they are out there.
Yeah, I don't blame them. The bowling center that I work out of for YBC, they have state of the art. They're everything up in Newmarket at Stellar Lanes, and they've been shut down now. They're max 10, and they're 24 lanes, and they just it's not work. Like they're open, but they can't see how it's economically feasible for them.
So,
Totally.
Cathy, can you maybe tell us a little bit about Miss M? I see
Oh.
you post about her a lot, right? And she seems pretty cool.
Can I just 1 second?
Yeah.
So this is Miss M. I don't want to put glare on her.
Yeah.
So this is Maggie. That's what the M stands for. She is 25, and she has cerebral palsy. She lives at our house on the weekends. So we pick her up Fridays at 6, and we bring her home Sundays at 6. So we are like a respite host family for her foster family, associate family. She's chosen family. She's in my family pictures, right? Like we've been doing this for about 5 years. In our home, I was fortunate enough to work in school with her, and then she moved, and so that allowed me to go into work with her privately through community living. So we've been doing this for, she's been in our home for 5 years. So at our house, she has her own bedroom. She has her whole wardrobe. She has everything. And she's a chosen part of our family. So she's just brilliant.
It's rewarding, isn't it? Though, right?
That's awesome.
It is. Not to be too over emotional. My mom always taught me that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Yeah. And she's not work. Like she's just like having split custody of a child kind of thing, right? So she comes to us, and the smile and just the things we're able to do with her. We get to take her out in the, well, not now, but we get to do things with her that she probably normally wouldn't be able to do. And so like we've taken her ice fishing. We've taken her out fishing on a pontoon boat. We've taken her to family gatherings up in Gogama near Timmins. She's part of our family. She goes everywhere we go. So there's her. And then I have a young man named Ethan that I go to his house after school from 3 to 6:37. And he has cerebral palsy as well. And I go into their home and I work for the family. And again, he's just amazingly brilliant, and I love him so much. Both of them. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. You know what? It keeps me busy, keeps me going. And like I said, you love what you do. It doesn't feel like work.
That's brilliant.
It's so nice working with them. I mean, one of the hardest parts that with the COVID part is, even when we were open, we weren't getting our Robin Hood Association or the Special Olympics coming in. And honestly, that was one of the toughest things to deal with, because these are people that we have seen literally every day since we were, 15 years old, or, at least once a week since we were 15 years old. They're amazing and wonderful and loving, happy people. And they definitely make your day way better the instant they walk in. So definitely missing having them around.
It's really hard too, because right now our day programs are closed. So even for them to have a place to go, they're shut down. That's why we actually have the extra weekends. But the other thing too is any individual that can't or won't wear a mask, they can't have transportation, right? Because the handy transit and stuff drivers won't take them. So it's an unfortunate situation. They're looking at September, possibly.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you guys, like you said, Dexter, having them come to bowl, it's the revenue, but it's them and their schedule and their normalcy for them to come and play on a regular week. They look forward to it too.
Oh, right? Absolutely. And like, these are people that we've seen forever. We've grown up around, they've grown up around us. And honestly, we probably have known most of them longer than 90% of the staff that work with them. Yeah. And because of that, we've had some situations where, we've been kind of put into a position where we need to protect them from their staff even. And there was an incident a couple of years ago where a lady ended up getting fired because she was trying to drink while while being at the bowling alley and stuff like that. And she was driving them. And I have no time and place for them. My job isn't to protect the staff. My job is to protect those people.
Like you said, you know them just as well. And they're used to doing something over and over and over every week. And all of a sudden, if you have a new, helper, then they start thinking that there's a way to do things like, whoa, this person's been doing this for 10 years. So don't start disrupting their
Absolutely. Routine. Yeah, totally.
And let's change topics. Let's go bowling mode, Cathy, into some of the early days. Where did you start bowling? Where did you grow up in alleys? And take us back a couple of years.
A couple. Okay. So I started bowling because it was something that my family did. I am the youngest of 5 girls.
Awesome.
And ironically,
or poor dad, or
poor dad. But ironically, at one point in time, I was the mediocre player in the family. So, but I started off in Sudbury at Notre Dame Bowl as not even old enough to play, sit on my bum and try and push the ball. And then my mother took over managing a little 6-lane bowling center in the bottom of the rectory of the church. It was called St. Anne's Lanes in Sudbury. And it was there where we didn't have babysitters. So I ended up at the bowling alley 5-6 days a week. And every time a lane was open, I would run and I would throw balls till they would shut it off, kind of thing. So yeah. Am I making you guys drink? I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
People in the comments there.
It's all in the. So ironically, this year, I've always started a season. I've maybe not been able to finish it for whatever reason, but it's 49 years for me playing this year.
That's awesome.
So I officially registered my parents officially registered me when I was 3. There wasn't even like a Pee-wee Bowlosaurus. I had to bowl with the Bantams kind of thing. And I gave them a run for their money, literally, right from the time they signed me up. So
now did all your family members play too? So
yes.
They all played.
My 3 out of 5 of us. So my oldest sister Debbie, she went to nationals. I believe she won silver. Peggy, my middle sister, she still plays out in Northern Ontario she did with the Masters and stuff. She went to nationals as a YBC bowler, as well as for Masters a few years back when Sudbury hosted. We're also, and my sister Cindy is in Thunder Bay, and she plays at Mario's in Thunder Bay. All social, kind of still competitive. And unfortunately, I have a sister that I lost in '89. And she was probably 10 times better than I was. So I'm the only one that carried it on into the adult ranks. Sure. My sister Debbie played Ontario Masters when Ontario was won for a year or 2. So she's got the beautiful powder blue uniform that they used to have. So kind of jealous about that.
I love older photos that are going around, even in Alberta, Tim. All these,
Yeah.
old, outfits and costumes, and even a shout out to Walter Heaney and his, group with a history and some of the old time photos. It's just, it's mind blowing that these were the full, Cooperall pants you would have had to wear in the bullet.
Yeah.
So I started at Notre Dame. I moved to St. Anne's Lanes till they closed. They had a flood. And ironically, Arnie Rollins was up in Dryden at the time. He bought the lane machines. So there's 6 of those 6 lanes went up to Dryden. And then I finished my bowling as a YBC bowler at Holiday Lanes in Sudbury, which is now closed as well. So.
But you had some success in YBC, playing in some national events, and got that team for
I did. So in 1978, I represented Northern Ontario for the Bantam Girls Singles. I was 8 years old, up in Thunder Bay. It was cool. Obviously, 8 years old, you've got all this amazing stuff. But I was honored by Carl Malcolmson, and I was selected to carry the Canadian flag.
Cool.
So that was cool. And I was just a tiny little peanut then. So I was literally tiny. So that was a huge honor. And then in 1980, I went on again to win the provincials and went to London, Ontario. It was just before my oldest sister's wedding. And she was really mad because I always got all the attention because I was a baby. And my parents came with me. So I ended up not starting very well. And my family were like, oh boy. And then I won my last 14 matches straight to win gold.
Good.
Wow.
It was my dad's birthday. So I was very proud of that.
I saw that.
And then everybody raced home for my sister's wedding I won on the 13th of May. My sister's wedding is the 17th of May. So unfortunately, I did take everybody away, but for a good reason.
Absolutely.
But my banner made the wedding pictures, so that's all good. A little spoiled, if not by my parents. I had 4 older sisters that took really good care of me growing up. So. And then I went back in 81 as a junior girls singles and didn't have as much success because my head was getting a little bit too big to fit through the door as a bantam junior. But the funniest thing is in 78, and I could tell stories about bowling forever, but in 78, I was young and I didn't understand. Like I just threw the ball. I didn't understand points. I didn't understand whatever. So I had come second, but there was a 3-way tie for first. And I sat on the bench crying because I couldn't figure out why I didn't get a silver medal because I came second. Not understanding the 3-way tie for first, right? So I ended up 4th.
Yeah.
By like half a point. I think it was half a point. So I didn't understand it. So I was like, so I was really sad. So I was driven to go back. So, but that's part of the game, right?
Yep. Well,
live and learn.
Sure.
Kudos to you for like using that as motivation and not using that as, becoming discouraged after that. So that's awesome.
Well,
Sorry,
again,
don't let me distract you guys here, but my OCD is kicking in, so I just gotta move some people around here. Green's at the top.
You messed me up now, Kerry, because you're always in the top left.
I know. I just couldn't handle it anymore.
I'm gonna pour myself a rum here pretty soon.
So then I come junior, seniors, I start to play youth challenge. We have a bunch of success in youth challenge. The head shrunk a little bit, so I came back to myself and learned how to play on a team because I'd always played singles.
Right.
So it was nice to be part of a winning team as well as singles, and even in the years that not as successful, to have that team win. We went 5 years through Pepsi Challenge, Youth Challenge. as zone and provincial winners. So
What
it was
was
a
the
nice.
format? What was the format of qualifying for the Pepsis back then?
So 5 games, and then it was match play, total pins. So it's still pretty much the same format as the youth challenge. So
Correct.
yeah, and then we had in Northern Ontario there was 6 zones.
Right.
So we played each zone.
Okay.
Now, Cathy, was for nationals, was it a fax-in? Did you guys have a fax-in?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you didn't know till 3 or 4 days later if you actually how you sat nationally.
Right.
Should we? I'm just waiting. I don't want to make people think.
Amanda just
got everybody.
Yeah.
She just wants everyone to die.
Yeah. Amanda Devaney just give everybody a drink.
Thanks, Amanda.
I love it.
So yeah,
What are you guys talking about now?
I was spoiled because like my mom had the bowling alley. At 12 I had my own key.
Okay, so you go in
So I
anytime
could
you want.
literally I would go in after school, I would do a cleanup or I would do whatever, I would shoot balls.
Did you ever play
Yeah.
trick
That's
shot?
awesome.
Kathy, did you ever play trick shot?
No, actually I was watching them. I wanted to like see if I could con somebody into let me trying, but no. No. We had a few good parties in it there though.
I think we a few good
Yes.
parties. What's
I'm sure DB had some good parties back in the Sherwood Park bowling alley too at times.
I think I started working there maybe when I was 14 as well. I was thinking about it the other day.
Yeah.
And I think I was bowling in a Monday night senior league. So my first year, my brother Matt had worked there, and there were some tangles or somebody had ripped a string. So I already knew how to do that. So I went and fixed the tangles and did the stuff. And the porter there that night didn't really have a good night. So got called in the next day and says, I think we better put you on payroll. If you already know how to do all the stuff, you might as well start paying you for it.
Yeah.
Had a good run for about 5 years until I was 19 at the old Sherwood Lane. So
Yeah.
Well, ironically, I know how to do all that stuff too, right? Because my mom and my brother-in-law and whatever. So that was a lot of fun. But when I won nationals, the church that owned the bowling center, they told me I would never have to pay for bowling again. So I could practice and do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And so that was kind of nice too, like a free
That's
for all.
amazing.
Yeah, it was back in the day, right? They don't have the same. It's not the same anymore, right?
No.
let's do a poll in the comments. How many people could restring their own pin? Right? If you broke a string and you were able to go in there, could you do it by just say a yes or no? Interesting. Yes.
How fast? How fast?
Now we got time. There you go. There's the next video thing. Maybe with the drone happening. Right? We see the pin drone. That
Do you know
Tim and Dexter both go running down the side of Sherwood Bowl into the back, have to pick up a pin. You got to retangle it or restring.
TikTok. I can do it. I can. I'm faster than Dex for sure.
I had somebody reach out to me this week saying that they have a drone and they want to try it.
Yes. Let's go.
So that might happen.
Yeah.
Victor.
No,
Victor?
Amy, wait.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's as long as she signs a waiver, if we break something, it's not our problem. So
Oh, yeah, we won't fly it. We're not flying it. They are flying it.
Not your responsibility. She's flying it. Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Cathy, on that point though, we've had lots of people seem to be at the higher level of bowling have grown up in a bowling alley, right? Whether they're managed a bowling alley, they own a bowling alley. It seems to be a common theme of somebody literally growing up in a bowling alley, right? So,
Right.
Interesting. Let's go to change topic. Let's go into some of the competitive years into the open. We have to have drinks now, guys. We have on our sheet here that says that we have to have drinks.
Mhm.
Change topics.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for the well wishes. This is looking good. There's my thing. Anybody get the? How about the
And that's
open
getting
years?
hot.
We played open and masters, but we typically start with open. How did that competitive, some of those trial years, what zone did you play of? And where did you have some success there?
So I'm split province, right? So I've been 19 years in Southern Ontario now, but I grew up in Northern Ontario. So my first 2 years in the Open, I played out in Nickel District, which is half of Sudbury. So basically from Notre Dame Bowl back. So in my first year qualifying for the Open, I made singles and team for qualifying. And then my sister passed just after. And I vented frustration through bowling. So I threw balls, a billion balls. I could have given Greg a run for his money, I think, during that time. Anyway, so I went into the provincials kind of wanting to have a point to prove. I wanted to win it for her. She was there when I qualified, and she was the one sister I wanted to be most like growing up. So when we went into provincials, I played exceptionally well, finished second in qualifying. Our team won, and the stepladder was really, really tough in the sense that I played, first match I played Wendy McKenzie from North Bay, who is a legend in their own right, a wonderful lady. So I was able to get by her, and then I had to beat Linda twice. So Linda's nickname was Linda the Machine Machano. And that's all everybody kind of chirped in my ear the whole time, right? I was 19. I didn't know any of these ladies, and I was successful. So I got by her. And so I won double gold the first year. And then I went on to nationals, and I finished second, throwing a dud my last game, and then winning my first match against Southern Ontario's Lena Jibb, then losing to Laura Johnstone in the final on TV. And so I got silver. So that was the first year. Second year, I lost in the final for singles. You'll hear a common word. I punched and lost. And then our team won. But then we went on to nationals, and we won bronze as a team. So I believe everything happens for a reason. So but I actually lost to Nat Berry from Timmins, and Nat is a really good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
That's good. I was
see.
not at the time. We weren't as good of friends, but definitely. And then ironically in 92, I moved 6 blocks, and I had to switch lifetime zones. I had to go into Cambrian North. And so then we were fortunate enough to kind of take over. Nickel District had been successful for a series of years, and the year that I moved, we beat Nickel in double knockout in the final.
Now
And
you
so
said
that
something
started
about
the
TV.
momentum.
Did they film it on TV? You mentioned there, like in one of your final matches there. How did that work?
So CBC Championship 5-pin bowling used to do the finals live. So that's 1990. That was in Hamilton.
Like for the Open Nationals.
For the Open Nationals, they used to do it live. Ernie Afghanis did the commentary. I can't remember who the other gentleman was, but yeah, we did it on live sports weekend, CBC Sports Weekend Live. So now I'm showing how gray my hair really is. Now. So yeah, it was really cool. It was different for me because and not making excuses, because obviously it is what it is. But like they told you to stop, hold up, wait, because it was live, right? We had production, there was production stuff. So it was literally like I'm in the second step of my approach kind of thing. And they're like, stop, right? So it's like, all good, right? Like second best in Canada, you're not going to.
Different experience.
Absolutely. And ironically, I'd been sick all week with, I had really bad nerves, and I had hives everywhere on me. And every morning I was going to the hospital for a shot of Benadryl because I just couldn't. I had them on my hands. I had them on everywhere. So it was quite funny. That was one of the first times I met Fraser. And he came over in between his match and my matches, and he sat with me and he just kind of calmed me down. And he's like, "It's okay, you'll be okay. Just don't, you know." So, just a great man all around.
Yeah, it's funny, you know. I think if I was in that situation and I ended up coming in second, I mean, obviously you want to win, but I think it'd be such an honor to be in that position. And to have that experience, that like I think that experience is almost secondary to winning. Like you must be so proud to have been even in that situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from 1990 in Hamilton was I was 19 years old. I had lost my sister. I had no, I had no idea what I was going to do. I lost my sister, and I was able to reacquaintance myself with Fraser, because I used to watch Fraser when they came to Sudbury for Masters when they were all one. I used to get my mom to drop me off at the bowling alley, and I would just sit there and watch all day. But I was able to reacquaintance myself with Fraser, and when I moved down here in 2001, 2002, Fraser was one of the very first people to reach out to me to say, "Hey, welcome. We're really excited to have you down here," or "I'm really excited to have you down here." And it just, such an amazing man. And just, I'm so grateful to have been able to call him friend.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, always there.
He is definitely one of the people that I really regret never getting the opportunity to actually meet. Everything you hear about that man is that he was an absolutely fantastic person on the lanes and off. And I'm disappointed I never got to meet him. That's for sure.
Yeah, him and Sid Morris are the two men that I just absolutely adore. They're great. Sid did so much for the game, both sponsorship-wise and everything. So, those two men just were amazing, and they really welcomed me. Not that anybody else didn't, but they really welcomed me down. And I was grateful to have them as friends when I first came down.
I'm sure the answer is yes, but has anybody ever done a, documentary or something on Fraser, on his career? I mean, his applications to the 05 Hall of Fame. It'd be cool to see some of those again. I don't know, Tim, you know all the websites like that. Is there biographies of Fraser?
The 05 has done like obviously a bio on that, but like as for like a video tribute and stuff like that, not a whole lot, right? I mean, there's a Facebook page group, right, for his, and they share stories and whatnot. Yeah. But if you ever have a chance, you go and follow it. It's incredible. The police story about him, where that policeman or whatever that got shot, and Fraser was there. It was absolutely just an incredible story about Fraser the man, right? He was a genuine guy. I met him once in 2014. Yeah.
Sorry, that RCMP officer actually reached out and found it, and I think he was in that tribute group too, and he talked about it. It was amazing. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. I met Fraser once, right? And he treated it didn't matter if he just met you once or whatever. He treated you like an incredible human being, right? So pretty cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure, Brett, if we can do that for you, but we will.
Sure. But no, I mean, I don't know enough about Fraser. I may have met, but unfortunately, younger at the time. If I did, I won't recollect. But we're not privy to that here in Western Canada. We have our own greatest of all times here. That debate that happens, right? Maybe the Bruce or the Fraser. We're biased to that situation because we saw firsthand some of the success. But absolutely, Fraser, based off of the resume.
Fraser was voted the number one player of all time, and his bowling resume is amazing. I don't think anybody will ever touch it. But Fraser is a person, like you said, but he was so humble. You wouldn't know how good he was. He wasn't boastful. He wasn't bragful. He always the one year in the Open, my boy got to play on a team with him. And like he said that, you know what, it was like the best thing that had ever happened to him up to that point in his career. And he said just a chance to bowl on a team with him and have him constantly there being a supporter and encouraging and whatever. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't matter how good or whatever he was never that person to go, oh, me, right? It was always team. So
Great.
I think
great
that's
memories.
common across the greatest players. Like Bruce is the exact same way. Those people that stand heads and tails above everybody else, they embrace it. They don't
And win,
flaunt
right?
it,
You
right?
know, some
Yeah.
of these, right? Some of these, all-time great names that we have that we throw around too. You're right. You know, Gino can talk to anybody, whether whether that person wants to hear it or not.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're exactly right. They're super easy going. They're easy to talk to, and I think they're even better people off the lanes than they are on the lanes, and that's
Although
a common
it's
theme.
sort of like politics. It doesn't really matter about Western Canada thinks who wins. It's all about the East is going to win anyways, right? So
Yeah.
that was a good pick. Anybody got that?
So you throw these names around too. So when I was a kid coming out, Bruce and Gino and all these guys were around too. So I got to watch them play.
Yeah.
And you know, I was always very observant, and I took it all in, and I was like a sponge because all I wanted to do was learn and how to be better and how to be a better person on and off the lanes and whatever. And you know, honestly and truly, watching Bruce play, watching Gino play, watching Diane Violini, like when I got one of my first years playing, I had to bowl against her. I think I came out the second frame. Like I was literally like, this is Diane Violini, right? Like, and it was crazy. But you know, as I got a little bit older and a little bit more confident in my own abilities, you know, things changed. But you know, there are names in the game that they come, like Sandy Anderson. You know, I knew her as Sandy Coghill, right? All those girls from Manitoba, right? Like I came through with them when they were the dynasty that they were, and to play against them in the Open and the Masters, like you knew you were in for a match when you were going up against them, and if you didn't bring your A game, you were done.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go Masters competition because we talked to Open, we talked some of these. Let's how about qualifying for Masters competitions?
So
start again up in Northern and then move down to the Simcoe area.
So Northern is a little bit different because you played Master Bantam, Master Junior, Midwinter Blues, and then you played year end. So I think it was 22 games. You could drop, maybe not. You might have been able to drop 6. I can't remember. But so basically 22 games by the time all was said and done to qualify your top. So the first year I played Masters, this is a little funny. So I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to give back. I wanted to be a teaching master so I could work with the kids in the YBC program. I didn't understand the logistics of the Masters. So I went in as a teaching master with a 240, 250 average coming out of YBC, shot plus 565 for the year. Would have won tournament singles.
Wow.
But because I only played as a teaching master, I didn't pay the extra money. I ended up going teaching singles with the team, and ironically won a silver in teaching masters as well out in Edmonton. So that was kind of fun. That was a mistake I would never ever make again on purpose. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Totally.
It was a great experience again, and to do what I did on 255 plus at the time, I was like so grateful. Then the next year we played tournament in Winnipeg, and I made tournament ladies. And then I played a few years on the tournament ladies team out of Northern Ontario. And then the last year I qualified, it was for Newfoundland in mid-90s. And I had to make the choice of a life. I ended up having to withdraw in July for the July event, and my mom ended up passing away 2 weeks later. So in hindsight, I made the right choice not going.
Totally.
But it was unfortunately, a very expensive choice for the province, because they ended up having to fly someone out from a different part of the province. So it was difficult. But like, my mom was my coach. My mom was everything to me. So that was really, really hard. And all that my mom ever wanted was to come to Newfoundland. So that was the win. But unfortunately, she was in the hospital and couldn't go. So.
Uh-oh. You can't.
He's laughing too much.
I just don't know if
He
he can
lost
handle.
somebody.
He can't handle the chat.
I know, Cathy. No, I like the stories. I'm the chat's killing me here.
Cathy, you absolutely did make the right choice. I mean, at the end of the day, family is everything, and bowling is great, and bowling is like you said earlier, like a chosen family. But at the end of the day, you know, in those situations, I think you absolutely made the right choice.
It was hard. The year that I moved zones for the Open in '92, my mom was sick the first time, and she kicked me out of her hospital room. She was on a ventilator because she had cardiomyopathy, and she wrote on the whiteboard to tell the doctor to kick me out because I had to go bowling, and it was Open qualifying. And I was like, I'm not leaving. And she was like, get out, get out. I still have the whiteboard, right? Get out, get out. So I bowled 19 games in 3 frames, qualified on the ladies team, and missed singles by 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, and then ironically, mom got better. And so I was like, thank God I didn't not play, because she would have kicked my ass. My language would have kicked my ass from here to kingdom come, right?
So Cathy, I know you've won when you finally went down to Southern Ontario. You won your Masters Nationals with the ladies, tournament ladies, and you won your Open Nationals. I know you beat the Winnipeg ladies in 2000. Which one was more meaningful to you?
So Masters was always elusive to me. I don't know why. I stopped playing Masters out of Northern Ontario for a while, but both great teams. The team from Northern Ontario, we were finally able to get 6 players that played as a team. And no disrespect to any other team, but we were 6 people there that had won silver. 5 out of 6 that had won silver the year before, and was not going to let that happen, or was going to try our best not to let that happen again. So it was mindset, it was friends, it was whatever. When I moved to Southern Ontario and I played the Ontario Masters my first year, and qualified on the team, there was Carol McDonald, Connie Ward, Brenda Pankoff, Jody Craig, and myself. And I just, the whole thing is like a blur kind of thing. But I just thought, you know what, if you're going to bowl like shit and still win gold, I'd be a weak link on that team any day. Not that I was, but yeah, I think it was good. And I'm friends with all of them, so that made it a little bit different too. Connie and I won YBC Nationals the same year, 1980, in London. So I've known Connie for like 41 years. I've known Brenda for a lot of years, Jody for a lot of years through TSN and Open and stuff like that. So a lot of these ladies I knew already from competing in different events.
That was a great question. That was a really good question.
Thank you.
No, it is a good. We've asked that lots of times. Which do you prefer playing, the Open or the Masters? And I think you just said there, because of the Open, the extra play.
I like it. Not necessarily for the extra player. I like the Open because, and don't what was that saying at the beginning of the show? Views on this show are the person's opinion.
Yeah.
So
No
I don't
opinions
like-
are related to the
I love
association.
Masters. Don't get me wrong. I still play. I still whatever. But
Totally.
Masters, you can sign up and play. The Open can be anybody, right? So the Open, in my opinion, you're getting for certain zones, you're getting the best quality players out to play because they don't have to make a commitment to the whole year. So whereas a Masters, like, okay, so say hypothetically right now in certain provinces, you have 7 ladies that play tournament Masters.
Yeah.
So basically you throw your money in your hat in tournament Masters. Not everybody plays. So I like the Open. I like the format. I like the people. Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people in Northern Ontario make that choice, honestly. Especially on the men side, there's a lot of men that choose to never play Masters and only play the Open and stuff like that. I mean, like Greg DeGrazia, Taylor Michelle,
Yep.
Wes, all those guys, they never play Masters, and that makes a lot of sense. It is definitely a much larger commitment. I don't know how often you guys or where all of your events are, but
Travel.
Travel in
huge.
Northern
Travel's
Ontario has
huge.
got to be super tough.
Thunder Bay to Timmins is a long time for those guys.
So in 92, I was pregnant for the boys. I traveled 22 hours in a time zone. So not only did I travel almost a full day, I had lost an hour on my way out.
Yeah.
Probably
we traveled over daylight, the time zone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So there's people obviously talking in the chat about the Masters Open thing. There's always going to be that where people are one-sided compared to the other. A lot of the Open for some of the provinces unfortunately have weaker zones where you have 2 or 3 really good players in that zone, and it's hard to make it to a national out of that zone.
Yes.
So it's harder to be an Open player that way when you're in a zone like that. Where
Right.
Masters, you pay your money and you get to compete against everybody, and you can show how good you are and make it, right? So
True.
an all-star team out of the Open like Quebec does is obviously a great solution to avoid that whole thing, but you don't get to play with your local players and compete in your zone and stuff like that. I think they both have great qualities, that's for sure.
So part of the thing when I was in Northern Ontario too, which was hard because I had young children, was you actually have to sign a commitment to the bowling center to go out and coach, whether you're a tournament or a teaching master, right? For the proprietor to sign your papers, you have to make a commitment to coaching, right? So depending on who you are and if you work shift work or if you work anything, you have to make that commitment to the kids, which in some aspects, that is a teaching arm of bowling. Is your teaching masters or your tournament masters that wish to work with the kids?
We sort of have that here. We have to, in a way, where the proprietors have to endorse the master. But they don't. They don't follow through.
And tournament directors can endorse and whatnot as well. The biggest issue that we have is that nowadays we have so many players for teaching masters and whatnot, and there's simply just not enough YBC to go around. And if you forced every one of those masters to play, or to coach, it's almost detrimental to a point where you'd have to be rotating coaches in and out on a weekend in order to actually get them in to get their time in. Now, are the kids getting consistent coaching? Are they hearing the same things? Like there's a lot of logistics involved with that. So in Alberta, it's not as good as it should be. I wish more tournament masters coached, but it kind of is what it is.
That's an interesting point, Dexter. I've never heard that side before, where you just said there's too many masters and not enough YBC or enough places to go. I've never, but you're right. If you have all of them out there coaching in a Sherwood Park, you're right. You're not going to have 30 guys coaching at Sherwood Park. You're not going to have. So there's got to be some consolation or some sacrifice that maybe that rule can't be as enforced as it is. So that's interesting. I've never thought about it that way.
Maybe 5-pinbowlingcoach.ca or something like that, right? We don't know.
another coach, another just talk later on. Before we start, we're going to get into what's my score here. Carrie, before I forget, did you send a link to those?
I will. Yeah.
Okay. If you send it to them, then we can queue them up. We're not ready to go there yet. But before we finish the Masters conversation here, Cathy, something you said about a ring and a doubles champion with partners.
Yes. Yes.
That stood out to me when you on the bio. Tell us more about that.
So when I moved to Southern Ontario, I told you that a couple of people really made me feel welcome. So Sid Morris, who I think, would you guys know who he is or of him?
No.
Okay, so Sid was a big sponsor of 5-pin bowling right across Ontario. He sponsored the Open, all kinds of things. So when I moved down here, he came to me and asked me about bowling and if I was going to bowl the Open and if I was going to bowl Masters and whatever. And I said, well, I don't really know. And he says, well, the Masters have a doubles. Would you like to play with me? I'm like, sure, absolutely. Right? No problem. So we play this tournament. I'm playing as a master as well, my first tournament. And here, 74-year-old Sid is running out shots. Like when we got into the elimination playdown. So we qualified, get into the elimination playdowns. He starts. So whenever I would have a bad game, he seemed to pull it up. So it's a scratch handicap, pins over average to combine.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm having a tough go. I'm punching. So he's going strike. So by one time he's on 4 in a row and he's like running two lanes by. I had no idea that Sid had never won his ring for the Masters. So had I known, I probably would have sucked even more. But so my very first event, I won my Masters ring with Sid, and I think we won $1,500 or something like that for the event. So then at that point he said to me, okay, you're not playing, like you're playing. So it was so great. And of course Sid's son Sean is a really good player as well. He played back in the day, he still plays. And he was a little chirpy in the background. So I turned around and smiled and said, well, at least I picked the right Morris to play with.
Yeah.
So, and this is my debut in Southern Ontario, right? So it was a lot of fun. So it was like getting the monkey off my back.
Mm-hmm.
I got my ring. I got my win. I was good. I was happy. And I did it with Sid. So you know what? That was it.
That's the cool thing is, like you said, having somebody older and taking on yourself as a partner. It's like, come on in, let's play. You're playing. Yeah. That's a cool start. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing I'll never. It fills my heart, and I have memories of that. It's just unbelievable.
I like the idea of the rings. Does Masters all across the country do rings, or just Ontario? We've heard that a couple. Does Alberta do any rings, guys?
No, but I really wish they would.
Yeah, they should go retroactive for singles, I think.
Yeah, Tim wants to look like Tom Brady out there.
Yeah.
I know BC does and Ontario does. I don't know if any others do.
We had rings made when we won nationals for the Open as well from Northern Ontario. So it's like a Jostin school ring. And the men won in 99. And they had the males done, and they were so sharp. So when the women went back the following year, they won, and we had them made, and they're really, really nice. Actually, I think Bob Osborne actually replicated the men's ring from similar to what Northern Ontario men had done for his team.
Yeah, that was 2013. We don't talk about that, Cathy.
I have a lot of respect for Bobby.
It's a bird. It's a bird of sore point.
No, honestly, not at all. That was the one time that I was like quite okay with coming in second. It was awesome watching them celebrate. So
you know what? That saying, my house, right? In my house.
Yeah.
Right.
Flow rider.
Awesome. Can we make a commitment, a national commitment here, friends, that we need to make sure we bring back rings? Whether it's Open Nationals, Open Provincials, Masters Nationals.
Perfect game.
perfect game.
Yeah.
Maybe WCBT, we need to bring in rings for the winners of the tournaments. Like each tournament needs a ring. We need a sponsor for the ring for every WCBT event and the tour finals, or just the tour finals. I don't know. Let's bring back rings.
I agree.
I think the tour finals one should be huge, but the open the C5 does their watch, and I actually happen to have it here because we were talking about this during
right.
It was during poker. Five-Pin Universe does not condone illegal gambling. I think a ring would be way better. I'd be way more willing to wear a ring than the watch. The
watch is a great idea. Everybody should get rings.
I like the watch. Don't get me wrong. I like the ring better.
Do you know what
they just should spend more money on the watch.
For years for TPC, I wanted to do a jacket like the Masters. The winner gets a jacket like the Masters.
Collingwood used to give out that big jacket. Gino has one.
No, like the Masters.
Now we give out a shirt.
No, TPC.
Thank you, BPG.
Well,
I always give out the shirt or the jacket for the TPC.
Like a jacket, like a blazer.
We're losing focus here. We want rings. We're bringing back rings. We didn't go into a debate of what everybody was.
Okay, if Daryl brings up the ring one more time, that's a drink for the viewers.
He doesn't give a shit if we like anything else. The only thing he cares about is a ring.
Just rings.
Ring rhymes with ding, so that's a drink, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Lenny Amthath, a nice robe like the dude or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, who wants to play a game?
We're waiting 1 minute for our guests. They are switching to a different device.
Yeah, we've called in a couple of guests. Again, regular contributors. We chirped at him. I know, annoyed bowling fan guy, whatever his name is of the week. But he'll be really excited to see his hero up there playing this game.
Yeah. Is it?
Does everybody in the comments?
Who is annoyed bowling fan?
Nobody knows.
We never know.
Nobody knows.
We know who his favorite.
He might. If you look at the chat closely, he might have slipped up today. So you go. So do your homework, guys.
So our guests are in the back room, but I'm not sure if they're
like in the back room, or
are they fully clothed?
It's champagne showers. Champagne showers.
Ooh, I just added an extra one. So people in the comments, if you want to play along and if you feel like you can answer the question quicker than anybody else there, and then we might have something prizes too.
How is anybody drinking tonight? How many drinks are you guys in?
They gotta be like ridiculous.
If something along.
I've been smiling pretty much the whole time at chat because it's getting bad. But
hold on, I just need to share something here.
Tracy Smith loves me.
There you go.
There you go. Everybody drink.
Carrie, do you mind throwing that picture up there so that annoyed 5-Pin Universe has to, or annoyed 5-Pin guy has to crap his pants?
Weber made an appearance.
That is a written agreement.
A bottle of wine and 6 beers. That's pretty good, Cindy.
All right.
I love it.
How are we doing?
Okay,
I'm sorry we're off on this tangent, Cathy. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's St. Patrick's Day, right?
This is what Cathy probably expected, right? So
it's your birthday too. Drink.
You know what? While we're no, they're up there coming.
Here we go.
There we go.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
We have it with older people. Yeah.
Happy birthday, DB. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Thank you. Mr. Mark Johnson, Jen Baldwin. Johnny was informed that today at the BPG office, packing some boxes and wearing his green outfit. So,
Yeah.
well done.
I put the St. Patty's Day Chris Farley on for today.
All right, we got to get you. If you win the prize, Mark, we don't have to ship it there, so that's a nice thing.
I'm
So
not
I
good
was-
at that.
I've shipped enough stuff.
Yeah, everybody
I'm
have.
still waiting for my shirt,
Oh, where's
Hey.
Kathy's shirt?
right?
We would have
What?
shipped it.
I
We'll check
wanted
the
the
track.
last time for what's my score.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to. We'll,
I love that you waited to come on to podcast to call us out.
I'm going to swap it out, send you money to change for a hat.
Did somebody tell me and I didn't do it, or does somebody not tell me?
No, that's all my bad.
Okay.
All my
I'm going
bad.
to swap it out for a hat anyway. I'm going to pay the difference.
That sounds way better. We'll
Yeah.
do that for you, Kathy. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Send Mark an email.
I need more hats, right?
Agreed.
Playing,
You have,
what's my score? So, contestants, do we know how What's My Score works? Yes, Kathy, do you have a question, or are you just putting your hand in front
no,
of
I'm
the
just making sure I'm in front of my camera because the other day I was like way over here.
camera? Okay, so Mark and Jen, I hope you're playing separately, not together.
No, we have our own. I have like a clipboard with scores. I'm ready.
So, just right off the top, what's the maximum score here, and what's my score?
135.
Kathy's going to win this game. I got confidence.
She's reigning champion.
I am. I
So,
didn't get to
well,
play
also,
last time.
the 8th, 9th, and 10th frame, and I'll try to say it nice and clearly. And you'll raise your hand in front of the camera, and the first 1 to 3 wins. Okay? First up, here we go. 12, miss, double chop cherry.
Oh,
Kathy,
65.
yeah.
83?
no. Okay, should I do this again? Anybody other guesses? We got time. Anybody in the comments? This is now goes to the comments.
81.
70?
12, miss,
85.
double
Whoa,
chop cherry.
shit.
80.
Cherry 3-pin or corner pin?
Cherry the 3.
Oh.
12, miss, double chop cherry.
28. 90.
70.
Oh, I got bad math here.
67.
80.
What?
80.
55.
Kathy wins.
Oh,
Kathy wins.
I forgot the second strike in the double. Shit.
It was 80?
80 is the win. Sorry, team. Let's work.
I said 81.
Do you know what? I think you had too many pops there. Steve Greensides, everybody thinks he's 60. So
Yeah, there's like, look at 67, 67,
In these
Six- 69. I feel like they threw out 69 just for fun.
You forgot to count
Oh,
the
69. 60, yeah, Cindy's too early. Okay, so
81. I was like, huh?
Kathy gets 1. Okay, next up. Ready? Left corner, spare. Left corner, miss, deuce. Strike, chop cherry. Kathy,
81.
Oh.
negative.
71.
Tim gets it with a 71. Tim is on the board. Well done. 71.
Yeah.
Don't got it.
Well done.
I'm not good at math. I need an Excel document. I'm going to make one.
Ryan O'Callahan, you're 1 up on Annoyed 5-Pin Bowling Guy, in case you guys were having a side.
An annoyed 5-pin guy is just shitting his pants right now. he's busy.
Next up. Head pin, 5, 2, strike, split, deuce, deuce.
Mm.
Kathy,
49.
49 is correct.
Oh, I'm bad at this.
Yeah.
Cherry, for anybody wondering, cherries in the West, we call that you cherrying a 3-pin.
Mike, you had an issue last week no matter what. I'm not really too worried about you, bud.
All right. Next one. Triple chopped cherry. Dexter.
Is it 111?
111. Dexter's on the board.
It's not 111.
Sure it is.
Triple chopped cherry?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
123.
No.
Yes.
88.
85, 25 is 110, and 13 is 123.
85 and 28 is 113. 45, 85, 113.
98.
Oh, I keep missing the 10.
I'm
It is
missing
what it is.
Tim Hooper. No, Cindy gets it first with a win 13. Cindy in the crowd. So I set you up.
We're not good at this game, guys.
Wow, no, 113. Cindy's on the board.
Close.
Okay.
Oh, that was good.
And she's a bottle and 6 beers deep.
I know.
Next one.
It's like I need a box there.
Triple cherry.
Is it 99?
Mark and Jen, we're looking for them to get on the board. Let's leave them up on the screen.
Oh my god.
Triple cherry.
99?
Yeah.
I can't think tonight. I don't got it.
You don't got it.
Yeah. Triple cherry. Well done. Yeah. Nathan Cooper, you're a close tie to Jen Baldwin. Well done. Okay. 5 spare. Chop off, deuce, 3, triple. Dexter.
85?
Hang on. I better. 85 is correct. I had to.
Okay. I'm trying to work the video here. We're having technical difficulties, apparently.
Okay. Double, right corner, spare, 5. Cathy.
78.
Oh,
I had that too.
No?
Double, right corner, spare, 5 count.
98?
103.
30?
98?
No.
Nathan Cooper gets it.
100.
It's definitely 93.
90.
It is definitely 93.
Nathan Cooper, well done. Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. Head pin, 5-5. Strike, head pin, 3-3. Cathy.
49.
Yeah.
Carry the 3. We're right with the 49. Cathy's the winner.
Oh, man.
Oh, my brain's turning.
Go,
on.
Kathy. That's hard.
No, so much
I wasn't allowed to use computers when I was growing up I had to manual mark.
Good job. Wow.
You earned that free merch this time, Cathy. Well done.
Maybe I'll send you postage and you can send it to me.
No, we'll definitely send it this time. That is 100% my fault.
You just got upgraded though.
I'm just
Upgraded.
kidding.
You had some good sorry, Ryan. That was the next one. Yeah.
I want my $2 back. No. Tough luck.
Jen, Mark, thanks for playing. Everything okay in your world these days? What's going on there, Jen?
We're good. Yeah. Ready to get back to bowling. Been lots of meetings and courses and chats with Tim.
Yeah.
She's doing a lot of courses for me, so that's good.
Well, that's good enough. Well, thanks for
And
joining
you.
us. Thanks for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
having us.
Good to see you guys.
Yes.
Shout out to you guys. Well, yeah. Kick them out of here.
See ya.
Fun guy.
Bye.
Times, guys. Cathy probably could have ran away with the score there, but we slowed her down a little bit.
You guys
Yeah.
are mean.
We need
That's
to.
a skill.
I think we need to proof these scores before we.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not making them 10 minutes before. We need a bunch of old score sheets. Hey, if anybody's got some old score sheets, let's send them in to Carrie.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cindy has a really good question here. Carrie, should we tell her how to buy merch?
Oh, for sure. So let's pull that bad boy up here. So you can use store.com or store.5pinuniverse.ca and purchase any of our merch there. We got some cool signed pictures from a celebrity as well that you might want to pick up. You might want to purchase it with something else so you don't have to pay an exorbitant shipping amount. But
apparently you get a free BPG mouse pad.
But you don't know what we're going to get from BPG. Could be a mouse pad, could be hand sanitizer, maybe some sunglasses. Who knows what you're going to get? That's the fun of it, right? It's just going to be a surprise.
All I know is it's better than whatever picture you get.
Yeah.
And what's better right now? You guys are just wasted. Just have some really good purchases right now while you guys are not drinking.
You will not regret it. Next week when you get it, don't look at your credit card statements. It's fine.
Obviously, percentage of the proceeds we are donating back into bowling-related charities. Obviously, we'll manage that throughout the year. If get some funds in the kitty and something worthwhile to support, we're into it. And really, the proceeds of the merchandise is just going to go and help fund 5-Pin Universe for the more things that we can do. Documentaries, videos, production, equipment, all that stuff, really just to ultimately support the game of 5-Pin bowling. So there's my serious face. Please support 5-Pin Universe. Go to the store.5pinuniverse.ca. Right on.
Obviously, like Daryl said, everything we do is going back into the game. None of us have taken any cuts of any of this money. It goes back into either equipment or directly related to bowling somehow, some way. So
the only thing I've gotten from doing this is this mic.
Yeah. But it's improved the podcast by miles. So
absolutely
good investment. So before we move on to the next topic, I just want to give everybody a heads up. We will be giving away some all-star merch as well. So you have to be somebody commenting in the chat. I know there's lots of people watching, but not everybody's commenting. At least through one comment in there, and then you'll be added to the draw.
So you don't know what to comment on, say where you're listening or watching from. Maybe Simcoe, or you're in Thunder Bay, or you wherever you are. If that's an easy answer, just to get a comment in there.
When are we doing this draw, Kerry?
We're gonna do it at the end. I'm not sure if you can pull everybody's name or if I'm just gonna close my eyes and pick somebody. We'll see. We'll see how we figure this out.
Can you see who's in the chat? Like who's here?
Not really. Facebook isn't the
no,
greatest.
I don't know how to do that. I want to call out my sisters because if they're not watching, I'm going to be pissed off. I have 3 of them that should be watching right now.
Acknowledge yourselves, sisters. I'm sister number 1. I'm sister number 2.
Yeah,
I'm
there we go.
Looking sister. I'm whatever sort of thing.
I love Cindy's comment here. If it's Mitch Davies merch, I don't want tot. Is that because he's basically a tot?
He's tall as a tot.
Little kindergartner. Is that what this is? Is that what you're saying?
All right.
We're going to get back on the rails here on PC and some coaching topics, but Nathan Cooper has mentioned, obviously, a memory with Cathy chatting with David Michael until the wee hours of the boarding school. Cathy, maybe you can, if you remember that at all, great. If not, that's fine. That's just a great memory of Nathan. If anybody else has in the comments any questions that they want to throw into Cathy, happy to ask them when appropriate. and we'll go there. So, Cathy, let's switch over to TSN and CBC, some of that qualifying and some of those, TV events. Tell us some of those experiences, if you don't mind.
They were all amazing. Like, I so wish we still had those things today for even the next generation. I was fortunate enough. Back in the day, they gave our singles champion seeds into the provincial round for TSN and CBC. So I didn't have to actually house qualify until like my third or fourth time I qualified. So I won singles for the Open. So I got a seed into TSN to play. So it didn't really cost me anything to play. The first year, I was extremely pregnant with twins. I played Anna Swartzman. Then I played, oh boy. And then I lost to Ann Norris from Alberta in the semifinals. And then oh no, sorry. That's not true. I take that back. First year I played Sandy Anderson in the first match. Then I lost to Ann Norris in the semifinals. I won 26-75 for a couple games, 3 games. The following year, I went back very skinny without extra baggage. And I played Anna Swartzman from Ontario in my first match. And I just thought, I got to be on my best game. Luckily got by that one 6-4 and went on to win. Played Shirley Welling from Newfoundland in the final. Just a wonderful, wonderful lady, and was successful. And that was my mom's birthday. So it's very funny that I have very important things on significant dates. So that was my mom's birthday. So that was kind of for her. And then I went back the year after as defending champion. I won my first match, and then I know she's in the chat somewhere. Tracy, I might as well have lost. I've never lost in a preliminary match, but that year I might as well have because Tracy went 10-0 against me. So, but again, couldn't help but lose. Couldn't be sad to lose to a nicer person.
But that's why she says she enjoyed our match because she wanted to.
Yeah, of course, because she went 10-0. In all fairness, matches won, matches lost. I'm very fortunate to have played against amazing talent and brilliant ladies, and on and off the lanes, there's such a respect. And literally, right? It's one of those things. If I had to lose to someone, that was the person that I'm okay losing to, right? Like, cool. And trust me, there are a lot of people out there that I'm not content losing to, but it's one of those things, and it happens. And she ended up winning, and in fairness, that she was throwing a ball that day that was lights out, so there was no stopping her.
I think it's a neat use. When you're pregnant, how many times we've had that lately that ladies are severely pregnant, in other words, severely or very, right? And they're bowling at their height. It's
I still hold 4 records, and every one of them are when I was pregnant, either with my boys or our boys or my daughter, our daughter. I think it's because you have to take care of yourself better, right? Like, you have to sleep, you have to rest, you have to eat properly. I was more stable at the line because I was the size of a truck, right? Kind of thing. I was big. I have the TSM picture where I look like literally, and that was, the boys weren't born until November and we taped in August. So there was still things to go.
I think there's another opportunity for a documentary.
Being pregnant and bowling?
Yeah, pregnant ladies success stories.
There was a lot of ridicule back in those days that they really weren't wanting pregnant women to play because it was sponsored by a liquor.
Oh,
So there was about 4 of us in a period of 3 years that were all expecting. And I remember getting a phone call because I would have been, for my second trip with my daughter, I would have been not literally 9 months pregnant playing TSN. And I got a phone call and they were like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Good. I'm at the hospital." And they're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just gave birth." Oh, good. Kind of thing. Like, not that they were going to tell me not to play, but there you could tell that there was some, and that would have been, I would have been like number 5 in my kids are 20 months apart. So, but.
Wow.
But it was a wonderful experience, and the sponsors like Hiram Walker's, Dennis Stokes, from Hiram Walker's VP Media Marketing Management. He was so great, and to chit chat with, and to have a few beverages with, and to go check out his Jag in the parking lot. It was all good. It was all good, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely something that we've missed, for the last number of years. Is that right?
You guys are doing a really great job, like with your matches and stuff. Like, because I'll be honest, I love watching bowling. I watched the boys from the Nest when they were playing. Like, I had it hooked up to my TV, and I was watching. I was skimming through, and it's good. I almost got motivation this year to play a little bit better after watching Dexter bowl his 400. I went out bowling that night and thought, "Oh, yes," and then I was like, "No." Like, I was close. I doubled it, but it took me 2 games to get what you shot in 1. But it's good to watch. Like, it's good. Really.
You were on a 10 bagger or something, and you just lost focus, or what?
Yeah.
No, just a little lazy shot, little lazy. That's all.
Right. Anyways, that's something that, yes, the 5PNU is working at bringing back, even as far as WCBT, to be honest with you, with live streaming and filming the qualifying rounds. My day. It gives people the practice of playing under the camera with it behind them in a competitive environment. Yes, and then the Pro Team League, the Gamer, the WCBT Tour Finals, all these things, right? So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
whether it's going to be Tim.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, whether it's going to be TSN or CBC or YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is, it's still under the lights of the camera. Tim.
Yeah, correct. I mean, sure people could drink. To be honest with you, I just. but in all fairness, moving on to the CBC portion, I think Dexter might have it ready and queued up here. Was the 99?
I can pull it up here.
Okay, was in 1995. People don't realize the CBCs back in the day. You had to play against men, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't realize this either.
Which is fine.
Which is fine, yeah. And I actually honestly never got to watch you play until we pulled up the YouTube video. You actually throw a really aggressive ball. Super impressed with it. Can you kind of tell us what you were thinking? I'll be honest with you. You got ripped in this match. To be honest, you got ripped on a corner, and you got ripped on 9 on a left corner. On a left corner, I think too, right? So.
Playing Jeff Bourne too.
Yeah, playing Jeff Bourne, yeah.
I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah, this is Nick Patterson's YouTube video. Yes.
Well, look at that focus, Cathy. Oh yeah.
She had
Absolutely roasted on that.
What did you think of
So
that?
those are my 2 sisters that should be in the chat somewhere.
Oh, you would have been. I'd be steaming right there. I just got absolutely ripped. You're right, though. I mean, not having seen the play, you do throw a very strong, heavy ball. Do you still bowl as aggressively now, Cathy?
No, nowhere near.
This was the old Roxy, wasn't it? Down in Winnipeg.
Upstairs, yeah. Upstairs at the Roxy.
Now, do you still what type of bowling ball do you play with?
So I have a pair of Vipers for 3 3 7/8, 410, 4 8, 410, and then I have a pair of Twisters.
Okay.
And yeah, black, white, and blue.
Red? Okay. Are those like the old Scorpions kind of?
Yes.
Yeah, they were the Scorpion Twisters. Yeah.
I bought a new set. So with my grip, I had to go down to a 4 3/4. So I have an old set of Twisters or sidewinders, whatever you want to call them.
Mhm.
So my grip is better. So I went to a 4 7/8 of the same style ball because I like to see how my ball rolls.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's an advantage and a disadvantage of having, stripes on your bowling ball. Is that some people it really helps and they can. That's quite the video of the kickback. It definitely helps some people so that they can be more aware of what the rotation is, and then it can be a detriment to people if they're trying to focus on their rev rates and stuff like that. And I pushed that one or I pulled that one, and as long as it doesn't become like as the sole focus of your shot, I think it's definitely a major tool that you could use that not a lot of people use enough, honestly.
So if you watch this match closely, 2 out of 3 of these strikes he skipped. Like he bounces it just before the foul line.
Sure, that's signature Jeff Bourne a little bit, isn't it? Though.
Yeah. Jeff was notorious for laying the ball down a little bit earlier, getting that little bounce.
Yeah.
If you go ahead, Cathy.
No, you go ahead.
If you listen to the announcers, they did mention that, right? A couple of times you got lucky.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. You listen to the new TSN stuff and all that. The crowd for this CBC it seemed quite something. It was loud and it was.
You can stop at any time. I lose.
But
out of respect for you, Cathy, I will.
It's all good. You know what? A little quick on the last shot. That's all. I needed the double in 40, and I was really quick.
Did you get the double and then?
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Yeah,
I was really quick.
Yeah.
But you played very well.
Yeah. What was it playing under those crowd though? I mean, the crowd was a lot different than the TSNs I've watched.
You know what? It was really cool. It was a really great experience for me. Obviously, we played qualifying in Sudbury, where we played 5 in one house, 5 in the other, and then we switched. So we played 5 and 5, then we switched 5 and 5. Then they brought the top 50% together for the last 5. Okay. So what ended up happening is I started off in Lively, and I had 597 for my first 3 games. And I went into the ladies' bathroom because there weren't that many ladies. And I had a conversation with myself. And needless to say, my hand was a little sore coming out, but we were good. And my mom was there, and she was like, so I ended up playing exceptionally well the last couple games there. Went over to Zilda, shot almost 1,500 for 5 to bring me back into contention. Then came back. And the guys that were first and second were worried about each other, and I just kind of piggybacked on to them. And then the last game in qualifying, I played amazing. Well, for me, I played amazing. I shot 3-something. The guy that was in first was so busy watching the guy that was in the next place that I jumped right over him. So like he shot like 2-something, I shot 3-something, I jumped over him. And then the guy that was in third actually came up to come second. So it was neat because I kind of snuck in and nobody really was paying attention to me because I had a slow start. But I averaged 271 in qualifying, even with a crappy start. And I my mom was there. She watched the whole thing, and ironically, that was the last match. That was the last bowling my mom got to see me do. So when I went out to CBC, I asked my sisters. Well, originally I had asked my father, but my father's always believed he was my jinx. So it was down to, okay, I can't make this trip by myself. So I asked my two oldest sisters to come out with me. So we spent the week in Winnipeg. And so every shot you saw there was a shot for mom, right?
Mhm.
Like every single one. The match before, I played Lionel Baker from BC. And I say this is my best loss ever, averaging 300 and losing.
Mhm.
So I had 319 my first match against Lionel, and then 281 against Jeff, and to a losing cause. If I would have played, not that it, but on paper, if I would have played anybody else, I would have been into the semifinals.
Yeah.
And Jeff throwing some big shots there at the end and having a lot of animation too.
Home crowd.
Very in controlled and respectful, but that
Yeah.
does still subconsciously say, "Whoa, boy." I
have a lot of respect for him. I really do. I knew him through C5 events and masters and stuff, and there was no, like, I wasn't intimidated by him by any ways. If you watch the beginning, he throws his first strike, and one of the director's friends came in and they were talking at the back, and he steps off the lane and he says something to whomever, like, can you please keep it down or whatever, and got back up on the lane and threw his ball, and he comes off very animated, and everyone I talked to said, did you not see him? He was like right up in your face. And I'm like, no, I didn't really see that. And it was funny because when I watch the video now, I'm like, yeah, he was, but I like, in the moment I didn't notice,
Yeah.
I would say there in the event that it was anything out of what I or none of us would do, it to give yourself a,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few shots that I did the same thing, right? Like that tight shots, I got down on one knee and, the whole bit. It's part of the game. And if you can't play it, then don't bother.
Yeah. I got a question for you, Cathy. You're kind of saying going into the last frame, you got a little quick and you pushed the ball to the right. It might be hard to think about it because it was a little while ago, but was Jeff's animation and excitement something to do with you being a little bit quick on the lane because you wanted to get that strike so bad?
I think you're right. Yeah, I knew I was playing well, and I had a really great headpin percentage. I call it the money ball, right? I've never been one to throw away from the headpin. So I literally, it was like, I knew that I could do it. I saw the score. I knew that if I could keep it on the middle, I had half a chance. And with the double diamond free fall, right? Like, you cracked it anywhere in the middle and you pretty much got a strike, light, heavy, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think, and in the moment, right, your nerves get you. It's like, I have a chance to go on to win $25,000 if I can throw these shots, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even nowadays, like the tour finals or even a WCBT event, I find myself too, like, you just need the 3 strikes. You just get up there right away because you're playing really well. But it might be that time that you needed to take that extra second and that deep breath and be like, you know what? I know I'm throwing good. I don't need to rush this, right?
Right.
No such thing.
Right. Well, and that's,
hey man, it's all good when you're at the top, Dex. It's all good when you're at the top.
and that's something that through coaching, right? That working with the kids, especially when they're quite well, like they're good, is, my biggest thing for them now is when you're ready. Right? Like, that is one of the teaching principles I work with them. It's like, when you're ready, because if you're too fast, or if you're, from my own personal experience, but also watching other individuals play, right? It's like you need to be totally ready before you throw that ball. So
great segue, Cathy, into coaching and into that discussion that we've got, because I know that's a big part of your last number of years. Is coaching in YBC, teaching ladies, that stuff. So did you always want to also transition into being a coach, or did it just
no.
Yeah.
No. I love to play. whether it's good or bad or ugly, I love to play. I came to a point in my personal life where I hit a roadblock, and I didn't know what was wrong, and I could feel stuff kind of, and it started late 90s where I just, I was walking a little. I always walked on an angle into the head pin, but I was finding I was off balance and stuff. And so after a bunch of tests and things, we figured out that there was actually something wrong. So in 2007, I was diagnosed with MS, so multiple sclerosis. So I have what's called relapsing remitting MS, and I'm controlled by medication. It has not affected my person per se as to just the way I do things. I had to make some changes. So my approach, so when you ask if I throw is aggressive, no, because I don't have that energy, first of all. And second of all, I don't have, I've got a few extra pounds that showed up somewhere between childbirth and quitting smoking. So I kind of was faced with a choice. Was do I want to stay with the game as a coach and work with it? I've always worked with the kids, but do I want to stay or do I want to walk away? And I took about 5 months over the summer, and I really had a big soul search. And I said, I've been part of this game all my life. I've had some really amazing coaches along the way. And I wanted to decide, I decided that, for the time being, I was going to focus on the YBC kids, and I was going to focus on teaching masters and being able to bowl the events with the kids. Even though it wasn't that great, I was still going to try. So life took a little bit of a turn, and so I still play. I'm nowhere near the player I used to be, but I'm okay. Bye. My husband's leaving for work.
Bye. Have a good night.
So go ahead.
You being part of the youth national contingent, being selected out of Ontario, 3 times. That's a pretty cool honor to be selected to be able to go, and especially 3 times.
Yes,
is also.
And I'm waiting on 4. So as soon as they get the next one ready to go, I'm in too. So it'll be curious. Yeah, you know what, I love the kids. I know that we're not supposed to, but I love the kids. I have a bunch that I totally gravitate to. They're bowling family, right? They're not strangers. I can walk into a tournament or a master's event, and I know 95% of the people that are there. I know the kids. We run. So Gordon McLeod used to own Stellar. He passed away a few years ago now, right around the same time as Fraser. Well, we made a tournament for the kids. It was called the Stellar Lanes Youth Fall Classic, and we sat and we put this. So it's a 5-game with handicap. And then they go to match play, and first place is $1,000, and we peter down to 30th, and we pay out about $4,000.
That's awesome.
And yeah, you know what, it really and truly is. So 24 lanes, 5 kids per lane roughly. Sometimes we had to overlap to 6 just to fill in for kids that wanted to play but kind of filled up. So every year in the fall we would have 120, 130 kids at the event, and it was amazing. It really and truly was. We had to postpone it this year, and ironically, I canceled it for the season today because just there's not enough bowling to be done before. But it's so knowing the kids and knowing having that opportunity to coach them at a national level, it's amazing. And the kids that are there, that they want to be better and they want to be successful and they'll put the work in if you ask them to.
Well, and say something to you for being, to your resume, for being the person that they select and they want to be part of that as well, or to have you as the national coach. So,
yeah, I don't know for sure, but someone had said to me that, do you realize that you're one of the first people to be asked out of Ontario for a second time?
right.
So I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that I did it in 2003, 2004, and then I did it again 2018. No, 2019, and I was supposed to go back 2020. So, but yeah, it's amazing. I love being there. The kids, to be able to be there for them, with them, to teach them strategies on, all kinds of different aspects of the game, the mental game, there's a few.
So one thing I'm going to have to take a timeout. I got to go to the washroom. This is a couple. But, as I go, I want you to tell the story, or this is a really cool thing too. In 2013, the Ontario Elite, and then in 2019, the Grassroots Coach of the Year. These are very, very significant
Yeah.
to have from a coach. So share with us how those came about, if you don't mind.
So in 2003, 2002, 2003, I coached the teaching men out of Southern Ontario to silver at nationals. Amazing team. And then ladies in Calgary, we went out during the floods, and the ladies team that I coached won gold. That year from my zone, I was nominated as Elite Coach of the Year. And from there, I went on to win the Ontario Elite Coach of the Year, which is the Dave Post here in.
Totally.
So they're Ernie Rogie and Dave Post are both, so that you get the plaques that says, so-and-so from so-and-so is this. And I was like totally taken back, because to me, elite always meant open, masters, whatever. So I was quite surprised. But then they looked at the work with the kids and the youth challenge nationals, and so I was very humbled, because I have so much respect for Dave Post. He was another one of the guys that welcomed me when I came down here and stuff. And then I always joked that, I had an old guy on my mantle. And then a year and a half ago, I got the Ernie Rogie Grassroots Coach of the Year. And to me, that is huge, because I don't know what it's like in other provinces with your coaches of the year, but with Grassroots, you can only win once here in Ontario. And to be 50 or turning 50 and to win something that means so much. So ironically, I have Dave Post here and I have Ernie Rogie here, and I've got a couple old guys, hanging out on my mantle, but it means so much to me, right? Like my mom taught me, everything I know about the game and then some, and to be considered, even to be nominated was huge, and then to have won, and knowing that the group of people that I have been able to work with in different aspects, like we have, when I first moved down here, Cathy and Steve Barker were in the area, and all the coaches at the bowling school, like we all kind of come together and for the kids. And so between the bowling school and the different events and then our tournament, it was kind of cool, because you got to know all the kids, and they get to know you, and they're pretty good judges of character. They know who are there for the right reasons, right? To make you better and to help you be better.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, sure. Cathy, this is probably my first glimpse into who you are as a person, besides, the comments that you throw into the side. But you're a very easygoing, personable, friendly person. with an immense amount of knowledge. You put those two things together, and then you're a nurturing person on top. I mean, your career kind of speaks for itself in that way. It's no surprise to me that you're getting as much love in the chat here for your
It's because everybody has to drink. I don't even know half
No.
these names.
But,
My
I mean,
sisters.
like
Five my sisters.
here's Aaron Glover saying, Cathy, to this day, one of my favorite coaches ever. And
So-
it doesn't surprise me based on who you have been
Can
today.
I tell you a little story about Aaron Glover? Because I love Aaron Glover.
Sure.
Aaron was 14. Sorry, Carrie, I know you hate stories, but you might like
No.
this one.
All good.
So I'm not afraid of anything. I own it as a coach, right? If win, lose, if I make a bad decision, it's my fault. Period. I don't care. Two things I learned about myself was trust my instincts, and I am the shittiest co-coach ever. Because it's me or it's nothing, right? I'll be honest. I don't co-coach well. I got another year with Jeff Dunn, maybe. So Jeff, I love you. If you're watching, Aaron was bowling leadoff in Gatineau, and the kids came in from out of town to play Masters Rookie Tour in Ottawa. Gatineau's just across the river, so they were all in watching. And Aaron was struggling a little bit on top, and he didn't have a whole lot to start. We had a girl on the bench. So Aaron, I love you. If you're listening, I love you. Aaron goes up, he picks a 3-pin, picks the other 3-pin, just touches the head pin. It's like, then he's out chatting with his friends. So then he comes back and he cherries another 3-pin. So he doesn't have a whole lot, and I can't remember exactly what the score was, but I walked up to him really politely, come up behind him and say, okay, bud, I really need your good shot here, right? Show me what you got. So he goes up and he puts it through the hole. And I looked at him and I tapped him on the shoulder and I'm like, buddy, I'm really sorry, but you have to come out. No. I'm like, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm like, we need to win these matches. If we need it, I'm sorry. I'm making this call. You need to come out. So of course he walks off. He's a little deflated. And again, I'm the coach, right? Girl goes in, she 15s the 3-pin. I'm like, good shot. I'm not a feminist. I'm an equal team player. She goes on to throw the next 6. Okay.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
She wins the match and we win total.
Right.
So I walked over really quietly to Aaron and I said to him, I understand that you did not want to come out of the match, but you were very distracted by your friends at the back and you were very not on your A game, and we need your A game. So threw him right back in the lineup the next game, and he shot 3-something, and he was right back on track, right? But every once in a while, you just need to kind of say, okay, you know what? This is I did it in the Open with one of the Open bowlers. He was having a tough go, probably best bowler on the team. Took him out 3rd frame. He's like, put him right back in the next game and averaged 285 for the rest of the event, right?
Yeah.
So
Kathy, just so
you
you
gotta
know,
do what you gotta do, right?
just so you know, Aaron's taking all the glory for it. He said he took one for the team. It wasn't the coach making the great pull.
Like, you know what?
So funnier story is I get to coach Aaron again. So he might start on the bench. You never know.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what the poll is there for, and I'm sure that was a big learning experience for Aaron as well, right? And that's what we're looking for, and that's what you're there for as a coach. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I haven't mentioned one person that I would really like to mention because, and I'm sorry, I know you hate stories.
No.
We love them.
So
that's what we're here for.
Carrie, we're going to ask Carrie about this.
Carrie, I'm sorry. I really am. So, I don't know if any of you have like creeped my profile or anything, but my wedding was basically bowlers are out, right? My maid of honor was Barb Hamilton, Barb McLaughlin. Nat Berry was in my wedding party, and my sister-in-law. But we've been together, Nat, Barb, and I, for a lot of years. And Barb and I played on a team. The first year I played against her, and then we played on the open team for years. And I can honestly say the hardest thing about leaving Northern Ontario was leaving that friendship behind. Barb and I played 4-5 punch for years on Northern Ontario. Sometimes we got split up, but for the most part, once Barb came along, we were able to solidify our spots and be competitive, because for a while we're known as, an easier team to beat. And the year that when we lost in 99 and we won silver, actually I shouldn't say we lost, we're second. But Manitoba had a good run on us, and we lost in double knockout. So that was an eye-opener for us. But in I think it was the 7th frame, I noticed you mentioned it again. In the 7th frame, we started throwing strikes. We were deflated. We were far behind. And I think out of the last, say, 25 frames, we threw 22 strikes. And ended up just missing them by a handful. So we called that the Manitoba finish, because when you see that many strikes being thrown against you, right? So then when we lost to them, but then when we came back into Hamilton in 2000, we played them again in the final. And again, being 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6 of the same ladies, we knew what we were up against. So it was like, okay, ladies, Manitoba finish, right? Like we need, we want to win this. We need to go, right? So it was those 2 years with those groups of ladies were amazing. And, Barb is an amazing, amazing player and an amazing person on and off the lanes. But I'm lucky enough that she followed me down here. So she only lives about 20 minutes from my house. So I get to babysit every once in a while when
Nice.
the kids, and we still hang out and chat. And obviously I would love to get her back bowling again soon. Barb, if you're there.
Yeah.
You better be there, Barb. When bowling permits, but I get to take the boys out bowling once in a while, and it's a lot of fun. And but yeah, definitely, one of the greatest teammates of all times. And the one time, unfortunately, that we got to play Masters together, I had to withdraw. But yeah, definitely, she's retired. I just saw the comment, retired. Forget it.
There's a couple of ladies you mentioned you were super close to with, the Barb McLaughlins, the Connie Ward that you played tournaments on, and against these legendary ladies down in Southern Ontario are forces to be, reckoned with, right? Let's switch topics one more time, just as we're wrapping up here. We're probably 10 minutes-ish left, but absolutely, cheers to everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely one topic and one final closing arguments that we should chat about is in 2009, part of the top 100 5-pin bowlers list. Cathy Davidson, you were named to that, and obviously also nominated to the York Simcoe Hall of Fame. Lots of talks here on the podcast about various Hall of Fames. So those are 2 pretty incredible, accomplishments to be part of that top 100 list for sure. But then also to be nominated into your local Hall of Fame. Tell us a little bit about those experiences.
So 2009, I actually didn't find out about it till a couple of months after it happened, because I was already living in Southern Ontario. But Barb brought it to my attention, and she's like, did you hear? And I'm like, no. And she's like, oh, they did the top 100. And so I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And she goes, there's you, or there's me, there's you. And I'm like, pardon? Not that I didn't think I was deserving, just that I was quite taken back by it, not really knowing that it was happening. So that was amazing, because my dad could be part of it. Right. My mom was already gone, but my dad was still alive. So I made a trip up to Sudbury, and I picked up the certificate and everything from Kevin Freeland, and then went right over to the nursing home where my dad was and showed it to him. And of course, my dad being my dad, he was very proud of me, and your mother would be so proud, and so that was a nice moment that So I joked and said, "See, you can't be my jinx because I got this right." And then split province is tough, right? Like, so I don't want to say all of but most of my bowling accolades come out of the North, right? I was more successful out of the North than the South. But I've made every provincials I've tried out for as a player, I've made. The years that I've coached, I've not played the open qualifying at all. So at least I can say that every year I at least made it. It's a very different animal in Southern Ontario. It's bigger. And I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want you guys to have to drink. But it's like, so when they say switch to national brain, it very much is. Like my first open down here as a player for the provincials, I literally had to say, okay, this isn't the 6 zone or 5 zone. Like this is national level. And for the most part, national quality, right? Like you've got 5 or 6 teams that are like amazing. And I came down during the Tri-County dynasty where you had Jen and Carol and Liz and, all of those amazing ladies. And it's like, I've seen some people criticize the declaration rule and stuff like that. But you know what? You can't take away their skill and their ability. And, they're just amazing players and an amazing team. Like they all are friends. So, it just shows that when you put it all together, how successful you can really be. And when I moved down here, not that I ever looked at thinking, oh my goodness, I want to be part of the Hall of Fame. It was like, I thought, you know what, it's never going to happen because I'm from 2 different parts of the province. So I never really put any more mindset into it. And then after a few years, I thought that if I did, it would be as a builder, not necessarily as a bowler. Yeah. So, and it, that could happen. Who knows, right? Stranger things have happened. So it was actually on a Zoom call for our meeting, and I was fashionably late. And of course, I'm coaching coordinator for our region. And I was like, oh shit, I'm dead. And so then they said, oh, no, it's okay. We just rearranged. So then just as that happened, they said that they had made their decisions, and I thought, oh great. And then they announced me, and I was like I had tears in my eyes instantaneously, and I'm like, but, and then I was like, just shut up, Cathy, just smile and take, because I never really thought, and not that I've not done anything down here, because I have 4 medals in the Open. Like we've made Final Four, Masters. I have my Masters ring, I have my Masters win, I have my Masters nationals. You never think of it, right? Because I give so much, and I'm not like giving so much and wanting to be there for the kids that really want to be successful, right? So you don't think of it. It's like, again, it goes back to you love what you do. You never work a day in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was very humbling, I was very honored, very humbled. It might happen by 2025 or something. God knows when COVID's over and everything is open again, and we can actually have a drink and, go to a dinner, sit down dinner and whatever. But
sooner than that, I think it's, please don't be 2025.
yeah, exactly.
So John, Jim Head, when I moved down here, I picked up a nickname, and he is always the only guy that's ever going to be able to call me that and get away with it. So the very first tournament I walked into, he's like, "Hey, Northern, how's it going?" So I've been Northern since however long, 19, 20 years. But he calls my boys Borealis and Aurora because they're the Northern Lights, right?
Nice.
Both, all of my kids play, right? Like my kid threw his first perfect game about 7 years ago and threw a second one 2 years ago. And he's like, Mom, how many perfect games do you have? And I'm like,
Wow.
right? That's the elusive right there.
Yeah.
Thanks, DB. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the elusive.
That
I
leads
have-
me is bucket list. Last question is, your kids are playing. Are they playing competitively? Can you have an opportunity to play a tournament with them? Perfect game. What's left on the resume for Cathy Davidson to do?
I don't think there's anything left on the game side. I'm very pleased. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have a 448, right? I have a corner pin in my hopeless chest to prove it, right? So I don't really have anything as a player. As a coach, obviously, just to make the next generation bigger and better, and give some of what was given to me back. This year's Open got canceled or postponed and then canceled. I actually would have had the opportunity to coach Josh on the mixed team for York Simcoe. That would have been fun because, when you get pulled by your mom, it's a little different than. Jake, I would love the opportunity to play with my kid, our kids. They would have to make a mixed team, obviously. But I want them to be as successful as they can be in their own right. So I would never, ever expect them to not play to their level to be able to play with me. Right. So I would rather, I had the opportunity of coaching Jason in the singles the first year of the Open that he qualified fourth. And I would rather do that than play on a team with him any day. Right. I want them to be as successful as they can be. But yeah, if the stars aligned and if we ended up on a mixed team, I would be okay with that. I would sit the bench and just be the cheerleader. Right? Go team, go.
Yeah.
But not co-coach that team.
Yeah.
No.
Not there.
No, I'm not. I told you, I'm not a good coach. I'll own it. I'll write that. That'll be on my headstone. Does not coach well.
Well, Cathy, as we wrap up here, I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to chat with you further in depth, rather than just chats or a quick little "What's my score?" What an absolute beautiful lady you are, inside and out, in everything that you do in bowling and in your professional life, your family life. I'm like I said, very thankful that 5 Pin Universe was able to have you as one of our largest supporters and to come onto the podcast to share with us a little bit more. Lots of people, lots of love out there for you. I don't think, even, myself and the guys definitely didn't get to see you as a bowler. And even people in the comments, somebody said, I'm glad we showed the 95 CBC to see what type of a bowler you were. We missed out for sure. So thank you very much for being part of the show with us, guys.
Are you close to 50 yet? Maybe I'll see you on the seniors tour.
Oh, he's pushing it. He's getting there.
just kidding.
Straight brim. He's still
I
young.
will let you know this now that you missed not once, but twice. What did I do tonight that you missed?
Buffaloes.
Oh,
I was being nice.
No, you weren't.
Just watch the chat for the next 6 weeks because I'll be all over you.
It's all good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, Kath.
So can I give one big shout out?
Bet. One last blast. Have at her.
Sorry, Carrie.
No,
I
you're
love
good.
You. I really do. So I have a heart for your Alberta ladies. Jen, Tracy, Stacy, all of those girls when I was coming through And they were out playing, and Jen in Newfoundland was there the year that my mom passed away, and everybody was so amazing. But those girls are such class acts, and I don't care what anybody says. I've been fortunate enough to be part of this game. Like I said, I've been playing 49 years. I've been playing adults, and the friends and the people that I've been able to make from coast to coast, nothing is better than those Alberta ladies. And I mean that very genuinely. And I am so happy that I've got to meet them all and hang out with them all and see them on your chats, and the Manitoba ladies and all of them. They're all class acts. And I'm just so happy that I was able to come on and spend some time with you guys. And I look forward to everything you guys are doing and watch for the next 91 more episodes.
Oh God.
A quick shout out to Tracy Smith. She's one of my favorite people. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met, but she also busts my balls. So I've been having this lamp over here, and I'm a bachelor. I live alone. I'm gonna screw up my webcam. Anyways, I'm gonna have to hold this now. She's busted my balls about having that lamp on a chair forever, and I just want to point out the fact that I went and got a little nightstand there simply because of her. So thanks, Tracy. Thanks for pushing me into growing up a little.
It was her birthday yesterday too, so happy birthday to Tracy.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I always know it's my birthday coming the day after Tracy's. That's how it is.
Awesome. Well, Cathy, we're going to have you sit in the back room for a little bit. You're more than welcome to stay on. I know it's a little bit late out in your area. So if you decide to jump out, that's perfectly fine. We're just going to wrap up this podcast while you sit back there, and thank everybody. All right. So obviously that was awesome. Like when Tim sent us Cathy's accolades and stuff like that, I knew Cathy had played on CBCs and TSNs just through going through the VHS bowling through YouTube and stuff like that. But I didn't realize the amount of open and masters. It's unreal. And to get a 1-on-1 with her or a 4-on-1 with her to talk about all that, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, honestly, so good. And again, like what Daryl said, I mean, she's such a great person inside and out. I mean, she jumps in our back room but before we even start this, and she was instantly just like super friendly and bubbly and busting our balls, and like she is awesome. I would sit down and have a beer or 12 with her any day.
I feel like I've known her for a long time, and just super inspired by everything that she's done. Both professionally and bowling wise. So very glad that we got to do this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was great getting to know her. Yeah, like we didn't know. I knew how great of a bowler she was, but I didn't know how great of a bowler she was until I got the full resume. Got to finally see her, watch her play. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch the VHS ones or the CBCs, and she threw quite the ball. Getting to know her personal story. I mean, Miss M, pretty near and dear to our hearts. I'll follow that online. I think that's pretty cool. That shows what kind of person she is, right? So thank you, Cathy, for coming on. It was quite the podcast for us.
The cool thing, Tim, is that you're doing the bookings and you're, talking to people about resumes and talking to people about agendas. I mean, you get the inside track and sort of, tee them up a little bit with some of these things. I'm sure it's a big learning experience. Initially, it's just like all of us, right? Is initially what they've accomplished. But then tonight, obviously, in her resume, we didn't. If her resume or bio that we've started with didn't have the personal life type of things. So it's really good to get to know somebody in the podcast here.
Yeah. No, 100%. And obviously, I got my new nickname for next week. Doesn't like stories, so that works out perfect for me. We'll have to come up with nicknames for you guys.
You got to figure out a whole new podcast if we're not allowed to have stories.
Yeah, I know. Yikes! I'm tough go out
it's
here.
Just a podcast full of stats. Great.
Yeah. So before Tim lets us know who our next week's guests are, we're gonna do the All-Star comment of the day. Dexter has been working on queuing that up, I guess.
Yeah. So you just got to share that in there, Carrie. How many
Perfect.
times are you randomizing this? I'm going to be cheap today and do it for free. How many times do you want to randomize?
5-bagger for a 135.
All right.
There you go.
Perfect. And how many winners? Just one?
Just one winner. And
all right, here we go.
We will send you a message, and then you'll just have to respond to it, and then we'll get that to you.
Now, I have 35 people on this list. I couldn't get anything from like the first like half hour or so. So
yeah.
I apologize for those people who decided not to stick around.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
This is one of our best shows that we've done to date. I mean, obviously appreciate all the birthday and the St. Patrick's Day and the wishes and all that's fun, but honestly, just a wonderful conversation with Cathy.
And Cathy's such a huge supporter of ours.
Yes.
She's a Patreon member and all that stuff. So we obviously can't thank her enough, and more than happy to have her on podcast. And clearly that 2 hours flew by. We could do a lot more. We've had that a lot lately with our last few guests. We could have a lot longer podcasts, but
if my bladder would allow it.
No.
Okay, I got to randomize this one more time. Let's see who's on top.
I can't see it.
Well, you got bad eyes, Tim.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who?
Mr. Brett Hendrickson.
Brett Hendrickson.
Yeah, he's sitting here going like this right now. Oh yeah, man, great shot.
All right. He has got to buy a pair of sweatpants to go with that.
Yes, this is for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Are we able to get a hold of him? Do you think?
No,
he might be kicking around. Oh, he's in the chat already.
Do you know what? He can. We can get it. we can get his address and everything when he buys his sweatpants.
Yeah. Send an order for sweatpants. 5pin. store.5pinuniverse.ca.
Yeah.
Great show. Thanks for all the comments. Stay next week. Tim, who do we got? We got a couple lined up.
Yeah, next week we got Casey and Annette Campbell is going to be hopping on and seeing us. So super excited to have a really awesome couple from Alberta.
Both coaching for Casey. He's coached and he's played at Nationals.
Yeah.
Both Open and Masters. And then also Annette, obviously both Open and Masters. But
and she's a little bit better WCBT player than Casey is. So
it'll be a good show. A couple of Alberta hometowners tomorrow. Sorry for everybody across the country. We're going to Alberta hometown next week.
Yeah. Awesome. Great show, guys. Thanks again,
everybody.
And happy St. Patrick's. Happy birthday, DB.
Happy birthday,
buddy.